way people normally do when someone makes a statement in front of them that tells more than it's meant to be tell. Well, fine, if you're both going to ignore me, I'm out of here. So cruel, you'll regret this. Oh, I like this. It's beautiful. Their hands are almost touching. Not long afterwards, we found ourselves on the school roof. I don't think I've ever seen him smile so much. Is he normally deserted at this time on a nice day like this? On the weekend? No, of course not. I can only think that it's because of Shizune. Not that cleaning out the roof would require anything more than posting a sign on the door. The empty plastic container Shizune packed our meal in lie next to me. It was another quiet meal, since holding chopsticks prevent us from saying much to each other. Well, it's not blowing hard enough to be a problem. The wind is a little strong today. It blows the plastic bag loose from under the empty containers, so it whips around a bit before rolling over my leg and getting caught on the tip of Shizune's shoe. Ooh, she looks kind of pissed now. Immediately she grabs it and starts signing, not looking happy that I'm laughing at her, even though she's trying not to let out a laugh herself. With the bag in the way, however, she has to eventually sit on it to continue. Very funny. How was it? The food? It tasted familiar. That means it was bad. No, I remember eating this exact meal before, when you made it. Not exactly the same. The fried shrimp was new. It's the only thing I know how to make, but I should have improved. How many times have you made it before? This is the second time. Making this particular meal? Cooking. Next time it's your turn to try it. The way she keeps tugging on the corner of the bag is bothering me. I think I know why she's doing it. Is it really bugging you that much? I want to pack them up properly. It's okay, I'll get them. As of picking them up, I realize that she has brought a lot of food to be able to fill all these containers. I didn't even eat much. She must have some metabolism in order to pack all that away. Even though I've only been up for a second, it's long enough to stupidly trip over my own feet. I barely manage to break my fall. I end up landing on my elbow and knees right next to Shizune's lap. Oh shit. Let's pull myself back up, hand gingerly held on my chest. All I can think about is how my knees hurt and how the fall could have killed me. I feel nauseous. Shizune gives a helpful push on my shoulders to help me upright, though I notice her eyeing me oddly. Unfortunately, even a light shove is enough to take me by surprise. I heard something in my apartment. Are you okay? I nod, but we return to sitting beside each other. Naturally, being alone with Shizune is going to involve a lot of silence, but I only start to notice it now. A typical sign of awkwardness. Again, she's the only one to break the ice. I was expecting you to try something dirty. And now the mood is back to awkward. How's Misha? Misha seems happier now, back to her old self. I thought this would be a good way to celebrate and to thank you for helping me. Her hand stumbles for a bit on the last word. You think too much like a businesswoman. I can't help it. It's how I've been taught to do things. Makes me happy that you're asking about Misha. It would be more accurate to say back to her real self. She would be back to her old self to you. Only be back to her old self to you. The Misha you know is completely different from the one I think of. When I think of the first time we met, even though I think she looks better, cheerful and smiling, that isn't how she typically is. Wonder if it's true for you too. I don't answer. Well, if Misha is happy, then it doesn't matter. If it worked out in the end, your plan worked. You knew her just as well as you said. You knew everything she would say. If your idea was just that I'd speak for you, though, doesn't that just make me your puppet? I didn't do anything then. Not true. It was your idea first. I was wrong. I have a way of seeing things that is very flawed now that I've thought about it. I'm not sure you know. Sometimes I treat everything like a competition between myself and everyone else, even when it doesn't make sense to. Sometimes. I know very well how easy it is to ignore someone if they can only communicate with you through sign. I should have asked for help, but I was so sure I could do it on my own. It was actually a brave thing that you did. even if you don't take credit for it. Aside from that, you really become kind of admirable lately. And I'll be right back. I gotta check what the knocking around is, or if there's someone at the door or something. Alright, I'm back. I'm just guessing one of the neighboring apartments are doing something around there. I don't know. Good time to get more water, though, so that's good. Aside from that, you really have been kind of admirable lately. It's strange having her compliment me while her facial expression hasn't changed in the slightest. But people don't change so easily, according to you, am I right? She winks, clearly enjoying herself very much. Does Misha tell you everything? Almost everything. Guess you're going to tell me I'm wrong about that, aren't you? Yes and no. I'm the one who told Misha that before anyone else, but she took it too far and changed the meaning. It's not easy, but she acts like that means it's impossible. And that's possible if you go little by little. I'm considering trying to be less competitive. I thought you enjoyed that, though. Maybe just a little. That's why I specifically used less. She leaned against the fence. I have things I want to say to her, but it doesn't seem like the right time for it. Somehow, it's a feeling I have. I can tell she isn't done just yet. A lot of people think I try too hard. Well, I've always thought that I tried to try it just enough. The sound of the fence making as she pushes against it, and the delicate clink of her sleeves button scraping against the links are oddly soothing. So is the breeze gently picking up behind me. I can hear people below us. She zooms I start below us as well, and I wonder if she still thinks about what she might be missing out on. The attention-grabbing way she tends to snap her fingers proves she has an understanding on how other people perceive sound. Must be odd being able to understand that much, but unable to experience it yourself. She starts walking slowly around the perimeter of the roof, still scraping her buttons against the fence. It isn't rhythmic at all, and though not for lack of trying. I sort of zone out in thought while she does, and I rudely snap out of it when she circles around completely and taps me on the shoulder. Do you remember what we were talking about? When? Now? Of course, it just happened. It's been almost 10 minutes. When I first saw you, you seemed like you were very attached to the idea of feeling sorry for yourself. That stings, even if it is true. Sorry. Wait, no, I didn't say that, just she noticed. It made me want to cheer you up at first sight. I was scared it would be, for nothing, though. I couldn't help thinking it might be hard to change your mind. But you did. I thought that was very surprising, and also that you might be kind of easily influenced. Still, I was surprised. It made me reconsider a lot of things. Like, that maybe everything was worth it in the end. Everything? That's why I like you. I see. It's nice to finally know. I thought this was going to be over quick. Or soon. It could be, for all I know. This could be the last break or something. And remember, you have to take this job seriously. Too many people think you can just slack off and that it isn't important. That is a dangerous way of thinking. Definitely, you can't take it too seriously. If you aren't always thinking big, thinking positive, and if you know any signs of weakness, people will start to think you're incompetent, you know. And soon you won't be able to do anything because your power is going to be delegated off to others piece by piece, and you'll be left with nothing. That's what happened last time. So remember, it may seem like an easy job, but a lot of carnage can happen in this room. Ha 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 ha! And out of it, dealing with school staff too, even trying to get a budget report from a class rep can be a fight to the death sometimes. Yeah, it's kill or be killed. There are no friends in the pits, and you take no prisoners. Are you sure about this? Is this right? You don't seem excited enough. I have to make sure it's getting through properly. Once more with feeling. She soon twists her hands in a maestro for emphasis, visibly intimidating the two girls standing at attention in front of us. To think this all started because one of them asked if she wasn't taking her job too seriously. Do you understand? Do you understand? Pretend I'm shouting it. Okay. The student council is so weird. Okay. Aweo and Kiko. I don't know which is which. Both are white, so they're not important. They're just here. Yes, sir. Sir? Who are you guys talking to anyway? It's not weird. You have to think of it as a job. If you want, think of it like they are paying you right with the right to use this great office. Want another lecture? No. You can go now. Just like that, the hour-long student council orientation is over. Personally, I thought it was about 15 minutes too long. I also found it funny that it was incorporated a tour of a school that we have all been going to for a while, but I guess it didn't hurt. I expect Shizune to fall back into her chair since she's been on edge all day, but she doesn't. She continues pacing the room restlessly. They still have a long way to go. Right now, they're a joke. What? They think they can be the new student council? They're so unfocused. You can really see the lack of experience. This was our best year yet. I don't think they have what it takes to be our follow-up act. I know there are more of them than those two girls. Where are they? They're like a heavily marketed but mediocre, big-budget, critically planned sequel to the acclaimed low-budget sleeper hit. Eventually she does stop and sit down. Are you guys going to miss it? Obviously. I'd be happier if I didn't have to leave too. I like being student council, even if it can be tiring too. Yeah, it's definitely tiring. Only because Shi-chan is always trying to do more than she has to. You're forgetting that if I did the bare minimum, we wouldn't do anything all year except hand out flyers, collect surveys, and plan the next student council election so the next student council can sit around for another year of doing nothing. Asking me to let this happen? Don't be ridiculous. In a student council like that, there wouldn't even be any power to play around with. I'm just happy that even though I clearly need to ride them harder, those two aren't bad. Not there yet, but the new student council should be in good hands. How can you tell? After the festival, they asked me if we could also organize a Halloween event, like as haunted houses or something around along those lines. They had a bunch of other ideas as well. Of course, my response was no. I had Misha tell them to do it themselves if they wanted it so badly. They were angry for some reason. Ha 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 ha! Of course they'd be angry if you said that. And Misha delivering the message wouldn't help. I was angry too. All of a sudden, they want so much. If they wanted a haunted house or a traditional style cafe or a trip to the beach or whatever other cliche thing, why didn't they try to organize it before? It was like they were taking advantage of me. I worked hard to organize those festivals. In return, they came to me with, "That was nice, but can you do this now? How about doing this? It's what I really want." Shi-chan was wrong, though. Right, they wanted to join student council so they could make it happen. I made them feel jealous and riled them up. They can be a kind of motivation too. The desire to do something great spreads, even if it shows me up. Even if it's to show me up. They decided to take me up on the challenge nonetheless. I'm impressed. Well, for now, I would have to see how it plays out a little longer in order to know for sure. She snaps her finger suddenly, which sends Misha almost bolting out of her seat. Interesting. I guess it's possible to get used to. That's right, we were going to have a party to celebrate passing the reins to the new student council, weren't we? Why not have that now? At least plan it now, and have it tomorrow. They're not even in charge yet. In fact, that's the first time you told them you're not in charge yet. It seems premature. Misha, what do you think? I agree, it's too early. Plus, I don't think I could go anyway. Sorry, in fact, I have to leave right now. Why not? No comment. Come on, tell me. Well, okay. Way to not crack under pressure, Misha. I thought about it, and even if I didn't want to go, I would say yes, usually. It's the kind of person I am. I really should stop doing that, and this is a good place to start, I think. If it's a celebration to say goodbye, I don't want it. It would be too sad. I want to do something else instead. And after all, Hichan and you and Shi-chan will still be here tomorrow. It doesn't seem right. Besides, I have other school things I have to do today. I can't drop them just like that. We can postpone it. No early goodbyes. She looks very firm as she says this. Aren't you going to go now, though? Oh, that's right. Wahaha. Okay, besides now, no too early goodbyes. Okay? I get it. Okay, later. With that, it's just Shizune and I left in the student council room. Sunset slowly changes to night as we sit in silence, both searching for something to say. Would it really be that bad? Yeah, I didn't think about it like that, but Misha's right. Party set a mood, and it would be a sad one. A sad party doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun. Why would it be sad? This is a trick question, I'm sure of it. Shizune's eyes pierced into mine, waiting for my answer with a detached, analytical stare that I haven't seen in a while, but feel familiar anyway. I consider my answer carefully, but also what it means to help for her to ask. It could be that Shizune finds it depressing as well, or it could be that she doesn't understand why anyone would find it depressing. Both are equally plausible. I had a thought: when you graduate, that's it. It's going to be the end of the student council. I was wondering if you had the same idea. Don't be stupid. I look forward to it. I won't be a student anymore, so the expectations are going to be completely different. People's expectations of me and my expectations about everything else. It seems exciting. As for the student council, it should be in good enough hands. I don't have anything to be sad about. I don't think you're being honest. You looked upset about having to give the student council up not even a few weeks ago. It wasn't about leaving it to a bunch of newbies either. It was having to stop doing student council work at all. Unexpectedly, Shizune smiles. So you're not disagreeing. And then it doesn't make sense. Why would you want to have a party about it? I'm trying to get over it. Besides, goodbye celebrations are very important. People say the first step is most crucial, but following it through and finishing cleanly are just as important, right? I guess that is true. Anyway, I don't consider it goodbye. It's still an event. You still have to go through the proper motions. Aren't you going to? Aren't I going to what? Kiss me, of course. Is that the proper motions? Would be normal, wouldn't it? The natural thing to do. It's time to act decisively. If I don't, I'm sure my heart will explode. I kiss her immediately, so quickly that I don't even have time to enjoy it, even though she was prepared for it. Shizune blushes a deep red. I feel a similar heat rising in my neck and cheeks. Oh, that's so cute! I move in for another kiss, but as I do, she moves backwards at the same time and impishly jumps onto the cabinet behind her. Alone in total silence of the room, we just look at each other for a while. Each time I kiss her more deeply, I'm gonna have to edit soon, aren't I? Her lips are light and dry, and open a tiny bit. I'm only able to appreciate the sensation for a moment before she soon starts kissing me back forcibly. Fully. Her bangs brush against my closed eyelids as I let myself sink deeper into the kiss. I can feel the shape of her body through her clothes, which only makes me hold Shizune tighter. It takes some effort for both of us to draw back from each other. We're both blushing, both from the kiss and thoughts what's to come, and I'm far from only breathing a little heavier. As Shizune begins to take off my tie, I start undoing her blouse. It takes a while to figure it out. I never really thought about how our school blouses work before. Not in this, well, in this playthrough, no. Shizune's blouse is a little tight on her, and her arms get stuck for a moment because of it. I find myself peeling it off of her, although with the way she's trying to wriggle out of it at the same time, it isn't easy. The sight is a little comical. Oh, I guess we haven't seen girls with underwear on really like that. Once Shizune's arms are free, it slides out of her shirt, her skirt falling around her knees with it. Ugh. I need to drink before I go through this. Water, not alcohol. I don't know why that thought popped in my head, but... Once Shizune's arms are free, she slides out of her shirt, her skirt falling around her knees with it after she unhitches it and works it off her legs. The only thing covering her now are her bra and panties. This is a really bad time for me to have to go fucking piss. I'll be right back.